Welcome to Sovereign Self. This is our the fifth in this series. And I always want to start by honoring my teachers and the lineages, the various lineages that I bring to this work. It's really humbling, actually, when I think about that. Yeah. So, and to call on their support, and if you want to also call on the support of your lineages, whatever has brought you here, brought you to, through your desire for greater understanding and greater peace in your life. Really honor the people and the experiences you've had that have led you to this point on your journey, to what you know, to what you don't know. And I want to talk about receiving. I will talk about receiving. Um, it's I think that in this culture, this white Western culture, and particularly we have our own flavor of it as women. I'm assuming most of the people listening to this are probably white women. It tends to be who finds me, which makes sense. It's what I am. That's my construct here. But there's a receiving is kind of a foreign concept, I think, for many of us. Um, there's a pattern, I think, and I can lay this at the feet of capitalism, maybe. It's part of one of the structures that I think really makes the idea of receiving for receiving's sake, receiving because it's our birthright, as being a strange concept. We are so taught to be self-sufficient in all things. That's the goal, right? We should be self-sufficient. And we should be able to take care of ourselves, and we should pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. We should where that goes, let's face it, in some ways, is we should be alone. We should not be dependent on other people. And I think often as women, we are used to, whether it's overt or covert, and there's the expectation that we're not only supposed to take care of ourselves, but we're supposed to take care of others, our children, our partners, our employers, there's that often a power dynamic where we are responsible for other people's feelings. We get that message often. And that's a hard burden to carry. I just want to name that. That's a lot. It is a lot to do. We both are supposed to take care of ourselves and be self-sufficient and be responsible for others. It can feel like we're carrying the world. And we often don't learn to delegate. Delegating tasks, I know for me, can feel there's so much that comes with it. Like, I nobody can do it as good as I can. I know that's a message I have. I don't know if that's one that you carry, but if I want something done a certain way, then I just better do it myself. It makes it really hard to do less, to trust that somebody else will take care of something that we know needs to be taken care of, or we feel needs to be taken care of. And if we're delegating, if we're not doing everything, we can feel a loss of autonomy. And I think that's also one of the main messages in this capitalist white Western culture of like, you have to be autonomous. There's that fear of if if somebody does something for me, or if I just receive simply without doing something reciprocal, that you're going to owe something to somebody, which is very capitalist in its own way. That fee for services mindset. It's very harsh. I just want to kind of encourage you to feel into how harsh that feels. And feeling this like our poor hearts that we don't get to just relax. And I feel like that's this double bind, particularly I think with first wave feminism. There was that idea we can do it all. Yeah, I can take care of the kids and I can do a quote unquote man's job. I can go bring home the bacon and cook it. There's a song about that. And I just want to name, I think it's too much. And I also want to just suggest it's okay that it's too much, just to feel the reality of that all of the tasks that we feel it's our responsibility to do may indeed be too much. And we may have to feel into that to really be able to start the process, if we haven't started already, of finding a way that we can receive, finding a way for others maybe to support us in whatever way that's possible, finding a way for asking for help. And it's so supported, there's this idea, I call it chronic doing, chronic self-sufficiency and chronic doing that is supported in the culture, the messages we get. Everybody believes it, right? So if everybody believes it, and it's not everybody, I don't believe it, but I'm still working on the parts of me that believe it because I'm imprinted by this culture. I'm imprinted by having spent most of my years in this culture and being informed by the years that I have not spent in this culture, the years that I spent in India, where it's like people don't do that. There is much more of an attitude of like being able to rest into an extended family system where you're taken care of. And I, want to name that India is still a very patriarchal society. It's the women that are taking care of it, but there are more women in a family that are doing it. It's not just one mom, it's the mom and the wives of the mom's sons usually are also part of that family and uh, are engaged in household tasks and taking care of children. It's while there are definitely still problems, I think, in that culture in terms of power over dynamics, there is still more than one person. And, then that's naming the issues with nuclear family, just the idea that there's two adults that are supposed to take care of the needs of the family, or one adult. It's too much. And that is fed by this myth of separation, this idea that we are responsible for everything. It's this kind of monolithic idea of everything falls on my shoulders. And I'm separate from you, so I can do everything. So I want to kind of approach that and push against it a little bit, this myth of separate, this idea that we actually are separate. It's it's really only an idea. It's a very pernicious idea. So the way I like to enter into pushing back against this idea is to start with kind of the simple, obvious things. You know, it doesn't have to be a big philosophical idea of we are not separate, right? That can feel like, oh my God, I know that teachers teach about this and it seems perhaps a little abstract. So starting with the obvious doorway of, is the earth beneath you supporting you right now? Can you receive that support? Like, this is dependable. Somebody said to me recently, gravity hasn't failed me yet. It is actually dependable that the earth will hold you up. Can you receive that? Can you receive that as a blessing? Blessing, a gift from the earth that, she will hold you. And then as the next step in that, you are breathing right now. And what that means is that there is air for you to breathe. And that's a gift. That is something that you receive every day. Can you feel that as something, as a process that you are receiving? There is this gift being offered you without any reservation, without any idea that you're supposed to give something back. If you want to go a little more conceptual with that, you can, as we know, science tells us that our oxygen is created by trees. That there's that exchange. The trees absorb the carbon dioxide and give off oxygen. So there is an exchange. There is an exchange that in this moment takes no effort on your part. Just receive the air of this next breath. And receive the support of the earth. And know that in these basic ways right now, you are being taken care of. You are being supported. And to go to, a next item to bring into contemplation. For most of us, probably, there's food. There is enough to eat. And that gets a little more complicated, gets a little more conceptual. It's like, well, to have food, we have to make money, we have to, but just to keep it for this moment simple, of there is probably food for you the next time you're hungry. And that is a gift that you can receive just on the simple level. So, an avenue into recognizing where we are receiving is gratitude. Gratitude is it's a beautiful practice all in itself. And allowing this understanding that we are receiving, allowing this to possibly open the door to accepting other ways that we can receive from our loved ones, from strangers. Not to get too conceptual right now, because we are settling into meditation here, but just to remember that we can receive more. There may be you may even be able to tune into kind of sort of a structure in your physical system right now, in your nervous system that holds, that is tight, See if you can feel into that. Might be in your chest or your belly that resists this idea of receiving. Like it's not okay. It's not okay to receive. That means something maybe scary, maybe dangerous. If we actually allow ourselves to receive. And if you've been resting with whatever that tension that might feel present, maybe some resistance to the idea of receiving, you can now again shift your attention to where the earth is holding you. Where is your weight? Settling and being supported by the earth. And see if that affects where you were maybe noticing some tension, some resistance. It might make it worse, it might relax it. I don't know what it will do, but just notice. As you encourage yourself to sink into receiving the support of the earth, how does that affect other areas of your body? And to really allow yourself to feel the sensations of breathing. They're so central to so many different types of meditation. There's a powerful reason for that. This breath is such a fundamental way that we are connected to our environment. We take in into our bodies this air, where we know intellectually there's this exchange that happens, oxygenates our blood, and that's all very well to know, but just the experience of breathing, this expansion and contraction, has a powerful effect on our nervous system. And really allowing yourself to know that, to feel that. If you can, to allow the breath to deepen, allow a more full breath and see what that does to your overall state. Just noticing what a deeper breath than you might normally take, how that affects your physiology. And if you notice thinking happening, you can even have gratitude for that. It means your brain is working. And, and just see if you can bring the attention back into awareness of breathing and of weight. Knowing that you're receiving nourishment right now on a very, very fundamental level. See if you can be aware of how receiving this basic nourishment really permeates your whole being, your physiology, your mental state. See if you can really relax into that, really trust that. Gently pushing back against that tendency I think we have to not trust that we will be supported. You can trust this. You can depend on this. You can rest. You can trust that others are supported in the same way. The people you love that you may feel responsible for are actually supported in this very foundational way. You can trust that too. Your main responsibility here in life is just to be awake to what's happening. I know that the more you can connect with this deep nourishment, the more likely it is that the stories of our lives will fall more into place. You may find that some portion of the effort that you engage in, you'll see clearly is not perhaps necessary, and you can relax. And what's actually important to do will likely become clearer and simpler. May any benefit created by this practice be dedicated to all beings in all the places, all the realms, all the times. May we know that we practice not just for ourselves. May all beings be nourished and know that they are nourished. May all beings be well supported. May all beings be free.